So, what is the knowledge of good and evil? When Adam and Eve ate the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil. First of all, that was the first disobedient step away from God and into self autonomy, or the self rule of humans apart from God. And in doing that, humans began to define what is good and what is evil apart from the true definition of what is good and what is evil. And that true definition of good and evil comes from God, period. Okay, so we look at today. We have people today who, oh, it's 2025, this is now okay now because it's 2020, it's 2020, 2025, this is acceptable now, this is all right. No, it's not. And it doesn't even matter what human governments or human beings set as laws if they go against what is good and evil as defined by God Himself. If a human government says this is acceptable, but this is not acceptable, and it is completely opposite to what God says is acceptable and what God says is unacceptable, it is still unacceptable. You see what I'm saying? Governments don't decide that, especially human governments. And that's what happens when we distance ourselves from God, which is what happened when Adam and Eve disobeyed in the first instance in the Garden of Eden by eating from that. That right there is why humans keep falling down this spiral into destruction. If we obey what God commands, God has given us His commandments. If we do what God commands us to do, He will prosper us and make sure that we are fruitful and successful and in eternal joy. But if we turn our back to Him, which now through atheism, communism, and we fall down that way, then we start, oh, well, it's 2026 now. We can allow for real heinous sins because we have determined as human beings that they are acceptable. And that is not okay. God defines good and evil.